Hi, I'm Mary, a librarian and book reviewer with a focus on stories written for kids, tweens, and teens. Today I get to share with you this book called Face with Tears of Joy, A Natural History of Emoji by Keith Houston. This is a really comprehensive history of emojis. It seems like emojis are ubiquitous now. Whether it's in an email or a text message, emojis are pretty much everywhere. But where did they come from? And it's interesting because the origin of emojis is a little bit nebulous. So as you're going through this book, you learn a lot about the history of emojis in particular, but also just pictographic language, which humans have had for thousands of years. So the question of where emojis began is not an easy one to answer. But as you're going through the book, you find all of the information that's pertinent to developing an answer to that question. The origins of using emojis on pagers and things like that, and then how emojis have evolved into the present day where you have various skin tone options or relationship options, and as there are more and more emojis kind of connecting from one system to another so that everyone sees the same ones. And it's still a limited alphabet, if you will, of emojis, so there's always room for improvement. So this book is definitely on the older end, but really interesting for young adults who have an interest in the history of emojis and social communication. The book is written with a lot of detail. It's been really carefully researched, so you have a lot of dense research in here, but also you have emojis, you have other images that are embedded throughout, so it gives you a visual sense of where we've come from and where we might be going as far as emojis are concerned. It's also a bit conversational in tone, so that helps it move a little bit more quickly, even though it is a dense text, and readers will find things that they might remember or resonate with depending on how old they might happen to be and when they entered the scene with emojis. There's extensive back matter for further learning. There's also a condensed timeline, so it gives you a better sense of how things evolved from one moment to the next. And you might be surprised to find how old some of these emojis are. So for anyone who uses emojis on a daily basis, this is a really curious and thought-provoking book because it makes you really reflect on where the things came from that we use every day. If this sounds like a great fit for you or for someone you know, I hope you look for it wherever you get your books.